Hey guys, welcome back to the next video in this channel. Today we're going to continue with our little project, a little stylized creature. So it's weekend. Let's keep on working with this little guys. Let's see where we can get this. I really want to finish this guy probably by Tuesday next week. So we're probably going to be we're going to be doing a little bit of sculpting today, a little bit of sculpting tomorrow. And then on Monday, I'll try to make sure that we get like the retopology, maybe a little bit of texture like the bakes. And we'll just texture and render on Tuesday so that we can use the remaining days for our Halloween special. We're going to be doing a realistic character, realistic creature, because that's one of the things that some of you have been asking for, and I think it's really fitting for the whole Halloween theme. So yeah, just keep here, or just keep in touch with the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and everything so that you get the notifications. Now, before we start with this little guy, I actually made a mistake yesterday. So on the channel, or in the Majora's Mask process that we did, I issue a small challenge for you guys, and the challenge was to get 500 likes. Now, I made a mistake because I didn't mean them to be 500 likes, because 500 likes is going to be way too difficult for our community right now. I know that we're almost at 17,000 subscribers, so in theory, maybe it wouldn't be that impossible if every one of our subscribers saw the video and liked it. Of course, we would get there, but unfortunately, you know that not everyone sees the videos, or at least not at the same day. So right now, we have 51 likes, so we're only like 10% of that original goal. But again, I made a mistake because we've never gotten 500 likes on any of our videos. We know that. So the actual issue, or the actual challenge that I wanted to propose to you guys, and it's the one that I'm going to be updating, it's 500 views. If we get to 500 views on our video, I will send you the file. I will send you the Majora's Mask file so that you too can practice and do the whole exercise. So we're at the time of this recording, we are at 373 views. So if you go back and share it to your social media so other colleagues of you or the 3D artists can see it, then we surely will get there very soon. And we still have the other challenge, which is when we get to 17,000 subscribers, we are going to be updating that video. We're going to be adding part 2 where we animate the whole thing and create an animation. We're at 16,679 to be precise. So we're a little bit shy of like 330. I think that's the right number. 321 more subscribers. So when we get there, and I know we will get there, I'll just update the thing with the full animation. So help the channel grow, and you guys will be rewarded with some amazing and very cool concepts or content. So today we're gonna do a couple of changes. So I realized that there's a couple of things here that I don't like. There's a couple of things that are not working for my character. And the first of all is the plates. So if I want to give him plates, which I think it's a nice idea, we definitely need to give him plates in other parts. Like usually when you see this sort of pattern, this sort of thing repeats on a creature. Like you're not gonna get just like one isolated plate like what we have here on the front, and that's it. Like you're usually gonna get several of the same effect repeating throughout the character. So we're gonna have like a big plate right here. There's also going to be like a plate here on the head. So I want to make him like a sort of armored little character here. So he's going to have like really thick leathery skin, and this is sort of like the effect that we're going to go for. So as you can see now, things start looking a little bit nicer. So for instance, here on the arm, we're also going to have like another plate that has to kind of like connect down here, because we want everything to eventually be able to be rigged and stuff. So that's why we do that. And I also realized that having like the back legs be like the ones of the dog, not really gonna work. It looks very bizarre. And remember when we were talking about the design in the first videos, when I mentioned that you usually don't want to go like too bizarre, because people are gonna just like freak out, and then they're not gonna like the design because it's just way too crazy, too Frankenstein-y, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you a technique in which we can actually like use this hoofs that we have here on the front to replace the ones that we have in the back. It's super simple. I'm just gonna go here to the top subtool. I'm gonna duplicate the subtool, and then this new one I'm gonna isolate select, and I'm gonna just select whatever I want to keep, which in this case are the hoops, like the forward hoops, this guy's right here. Invert everything else and say delete hidden. And now if we dynamesh this thing, oh wait, did it work? No, it didn't work. So let me try again. So I'm just gonna select that guy right there, invert the selection, and say delete hidden. There we go. Now if we dynamesh, there we go. So now we only have the hoofs. We're gonna back to dynamic, and with the W, I'm gonna reset the pivot point and move the hoops back. So as you can see, that way it's very easy to just position these guys where they're supposed to be, and that immediately looks a lot better, right? Like just due to the way that the weight is now distributed, it looks a lot better. Now before I join them though, I am gonna polish these things a little bit so that we don't have such an extreme change in the angle, because I do want the hoops to go like forward. It's kind of like blending them in, kind of like chiseling out all of the form. And this is something that's very, very common. People do it. I do it a lot for like fingers, like hands and stuff. Like if I'm doing something and I don't like it, I'm just going to grab the piece that I do like, which in this case were the front hoops, and then just transpose them to the other side. Could we have sculpted the hoops from scratch? Yes, of course, but this saves a little bit of time. Now we just grab this guy. We go down here to merge, and we're going to say merge visible. Just be very careful. Sorry, merge down, because this is undoable. So once you do it, there's no going back. Dynamesh, and there we go. So now our hoops are properly replaced there. Now I'm going to go back to the front hoops, and I'm going to very quickly just sketch out a little bit more of this sort of like hairs that we're going to have here. And we're now in a position where we definitely need to increase our Dynamesh so that we can start polishing all of the different elements. But look at that, like this dude looks very cool. It looks like an armored buffalo kind of thing, but as you can see, the way he's gonna run, it's gonna be like a gorilla. It's not gonna be like a dog or like a usual quadruped. He's gonna be running in a more interesting way. So yeah, as I've mentioned, it's now time that we start polishing this thing, because we already have a very good mesh. I think this looks cute enough. And one thing that we can definitely do, it's not something that I do often, but I think it's going to help, is give it color. Like we can start thinking about colors right away. So I am going to grab my standard brush, BST. I'm going to turn off CAD. I'm going to turn on RGB. And let's think about like a color palette. I think a blue, like I immediately thought about a blue color. So I'm going to say color, fill object. I think that blue is going to be very, very nice. Of course, the eye is going to be white, so we're going to say color, fill object. And then the horns, I think I want to go orange, because you know orange is like the contrast for the blue color. So that means that we're going to be able to get like a very nice contrast. So fill object. And then again, to keep this thing kind of like in the similar vein, we can have the hoops be orange as well. So it's like a hardened keratin with an orange tint to it. It's going to look very alien, I think, which is cool, because again, I'm imagining this guy living in a different planet. And then we're definitely gonna have like some sort of like beige color coming here on the hair, right? Like a gradient. So again, this thing that I'm doing here, it's only important if you want to get an idea of how things are gonna look. Like this is just an initial, like just like a quick view of how I expect the whole thing to look. I'm definitely gonna go for like a dark color, like maybe like a dark brown here on the nozzle, or the mouth. And I'm thinking about stripes, like maybe some sort of like stripes on the body would be interesting. So again, we can just like start ideating and seeing if the pattern looks. This is I really like the brown muscle, because I want to give him this sort of like monkey vibe, but he's not a monkey, right? Like he's this sort of like weird creature. So yeah, I'm not sure about those ones right there. But I like this one. Now, I do think, like, I really like the orange color, so maybe we can do a little bit of accents in certain areas. Like, maybe these guys have, like, interesting pattern here on the top. Like an orange pattern going all the way across. Remember, animals in the animal kingdom, when you're designing this sort of, like, colors and stuff, colors are used to either protect themselves, to either scare off other elements, which I think counts as protecting themselves as well, like making sure everyone knows that they're dangerous, or for reproductive purposes, right? Like to attract the attention of female creatures, so, or their female counterpart. So yeah, I think I like this one. Now, again, remember, at any point you can just like turn off the color, the little like icon right here. But if we want to just give a little bit of an idea of how this thing is going to look, I think this is a good idea. Now I'm gonna grab this guy, and usually when I'm happy with the silhouette and with the general shapes of the object, and I know that we're not gonna be pulling or pushing things like in very exaggerated ways, I like to jump into series measure. We can always go back into Dynamesh if we need to, but I like to go into series measure so that our topology is a little bit cleaner and the detail holds a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna duplicate the little guy, and on the first one I'm gonna go into geometry, series measure, and I'm gonna series mesh. Doesn't need to be any specific topology. We're not doing animation topology just yet. Maybe later we'll clean it up a little bit more. This is just for sculpting. And again, the reason why we do this is Dynamesh is really good. It's super cool, but sometimes the flow of the topology won't let you hold edges very cleanly. And for stylized creature, holding edges is very important. Super important here that we do not have symmetry turned on because the character is asymmetrical, so we definitely want him to be asymmetrical here as well. And yeah, we'll just have to wait a little bit here for the zero measure to finish. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna project all of the detail from the this will be like a high poly to the low poly, but it's not gonna be a low poly because we're gonna subdivide the character enough times so that it can hold the detail very nicely. So as you can see here, we're at 9,000. So I'm gonna say Control D to have 2 more divisions, and then I'm gonna go here into Subtool, Project, and Project All. I do want to project the poly paint information. So there we go. So now, as you can see, we have pretty much the same shape. However, our topology is way, way cleaner. So the detail should be able to hold up a little bit better. I'm actually going to give it 1 more division. And now it's time for us to start working on the actual form. So I'm going to start here on the eye. Because it's probably one of the most important areas. And I'm going to change my alpha to a round alpha. Now, I do have a board here, not a board, I just look for a stylized creature online to get a little bit of an idea of what people are doing with their creations so that we can mimic. Remember, it's always good to copy the good things that people do and, of course, avoid the bad things that people do. So I found this one, which I really like, and it's kind of like the vibe that I'm going for. I might copy some of the like details and stuff. So see that sort of like form? See that on the like the wrinkles on the eye? That's kind of what I want to go for. So I'm gonna go here into my character. I'm gonna really clean this up. Now we don't want to overdo it. Remember, we want to exaggerate it but not overdo it. So for instance here, I'm gonna use my Damien standard to create 1 flap, just like one little, like this, like a little bit of a. There we go. See that? Same thing for the nose, for instance. Like we're gonna push the nose in a little bit, and actually I'm gonna push the nose out as well, so it creates a little bit of silhouette. And then we get like 1 or 2 wrinkles. That's it. That's all the amount of wrinkles that we need. Like we don't need to overdo it, because if we overdo it, then he's gonna look really, really old, and I don't want that. Now here on the corner of the eyes, I definitely want to do like usually on the eyes we have this sort of like little dips. So since it's a Cyclops, he would have this sort of thing. There we go. And I'm also gonna like fade in this sort of line here. Let's push the upper eyelid out a little bit more here on the top. And then we clean it up. Now usually you have like sort of like bones and stuff. So here's where form comes into place, because we can start adding some sort of form to indicate where things are. So for instance, I really like this sort of like fatty looking mouth here. So I'm gonna add or cut volume in, and then use my clay builder to inflate this volume a little bit as well. My Damien standard again, I'm just gonna push this in a little bit more. So have a very nice round mouth. There we go. Now I don't want him to look super old, so I'm just gonna smooth out some of those wrinkles. You can also use trim dynamic, because in stylized creatures and stylized work, usually there's not a lot of surface detail. I mean, there is, but it's gonna be really, really subtle, so you don't want to overdo it. That's the nose. What else can we do here? I think we're good there. I think I do want to give him like my cheeks. In Spanish we call them cacheton, which is when you have like big cheeks. So I'm gonna do something like that. And then the chin, let's clean it up. So let's give him a nice little round chin here and smooth it out. Very important to smooth things out, because we want to keep the forms really, really clean, right? Like we don't want any of that lumpiness. I tell my student that it looks like old chewing gum, or like meatballs. Like it looks like really, really like, so there's a lot of noise, but there's no purpose to that noise. So that's the kind of thing like we need to take care of. And look at that. And remember, we do have. I thought we had the poly point. So we should be able to turn on, but in this case it seems like we don't have it. So now I'm gonna go with my Damien standard, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just push these things right here to create like the actual little flap. And usually on this sort of plates, like on the border, you're gonna see that the border gets a little bit more inflated, kind of like an armadillo kind of thing. So I'm gonna smooth it out and create this sort of like interesting effect. There we go, which is like that, like the plating. It's gonna go around the horns, of course, like the plating needs to go around the horns. We need to sculpt this. Eventually we're gonna break symmetry and sculpt both horns simultaneously. Let's use train dynamic again to really, really clean this up and smooth. There's gonna be a lot of smooth, because we definitely want the shapes to be very, very clean. So this is the cleaning process of the whole thing. I'm gonna use them in the standard again to push this thing here, and then I can use clay buildup to carve a little bit here, so that it really looks that one plate is like it's actually following on top of the other. Like let's add a little bit of a bump there. There we go. Look at that. It looks good. And then over here, let's round this off. Now on the back of the plates here, like we need to really mark the separation of the plates for our character, so that it looks like these things are actually sitting on top of the muscles and everything. So that's where the Damien extender comes into place, because we're gonna be able to like really bring them out. And another thing, we've talked about this before, is the exaggeration, right? Like in stylized creatures, exaggeration is one of those things that we really need to push to create some very nice effects. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This is one of my weak points. Like I think I've mentioned this before, but my teacher just told me, hey man, like push your silhouettes. Like don't be afraid to like really break the silhouettes on stylized characters. So for instance, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna mask this, and then with my move brush, I'm gonna like really push this out, see, so that we create this interesting silhouette. And now of course we need to compensate a little bit here, but that immediately makes it look a little bit more interesting. Like that changing silhouette, like that little break that we have right there, so that this plate looks like a carapace, right, like a piece of armor. I think that really helps the concept. And it takes like a leap of faith. You need to take a leap of faith on your creation here, because we tend to go with what we know, and I'm very comfortable doing like a realistic, like a naturalistic things. So whenever I'm doing this sort of things, I always like struggle, like really struggle with this thing. So that's when you need to tell yourself, just go for it, see where it goes. If it fails, that's fine, you learn something. And if it works, then amazing, you're one step closer to becoming a more what's the word, a resourceful artist, right? Because you're gonna be able to adapt to whatever your client throws at you. So yeah, I mean, this is it, guys. I'm just gonna keep on cleaning. I know I promised that I was gonna save or do the whole process. Unfortunately, if I do that, it's probably gonna take like 1 or 2 hours for me to clean the whole thing. And even though I know you guys love seeing my beautiful face, there's no way we're gonna be able to get all of the viewers to watch the content. So I'm gonna clean it up, and then after I clean up, if there's any part of the body that you say, hey, how did you clean this specific part? You're gonna let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to show on that specific part or that question that you might have. But the same process that I'm using here for this, like big lump there, that's exactly the same that I'm gonna be using for pretty much the whole character. So I'm gonna be cleaning up all of the plates, and then I'm gonna wait for the hair, because I do want to show you a couple of techniques for sculpting hair and the hoops. So I'm gonna do that one in the next video. But you're probably gonna see like the rest of the character pretty much finished for the next video. So this is it for this one, guys. Hope you liked it. Please let us know in the comments what you think. I know it's the weekend, so people are usually out with friends and stuff, but if you're right around here, if you waited until the end of the video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a comment. We always read all the comments, and we're very appreciative of your time, guys. So thank you very much, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye bye.